things well. Picking off a second probe, really seriously delaying Shuttle's economy here. Exactly what Light needs to do. As long as he can keep ahead in the economic game, I don't think there's any way that Shuttle can come up with their forces to stop it. And the third scan coming up from Light. He's got more vultures over there to intercept, killing these probes at will. Basically, this expansion is never going to get set up at this rate for Shuttle. I mean, why does he just bother sending like 5 probes over at this rate? There's another vulture there that might kill this probe too. Fortunately, this time, Shuttle at least sends some escorting units. Light might come in with these 2 vultures and try to pick off the probe, but no, there are a lot of Dragoons in the way. Still, the expansion has been delayed significantly so. We see Shuttle killing his blocking tempo there, and Light already has the 3rd command center up that he's floating out. Looks like probably to the 6 o'clock position. So when the Terran is 3 base on Protoss 2, that is an absolutely horrendous position for the Protoss to be in. This is untenable at best. I fear that within a few minutes, Light's going to have enough units to crush Shuttle. And Shuttle needs some sort of miracle to be able to hold this off. Either he has to have excellent tactical play, or Light has to make a mistake, or his Arbiter that he's getting out now is going to cast an epic stasis over 8 tanks or something like that, which would require Light to make a mistake, clumping up 8 tanks at once. I've seen Terran players do that sort of stuff though, so it is not beyond question for Terran to be able to make that sort of mistake. At least I always feel it's a mistake, playing against Protoss especially. Well, actually, playing against any race, clumping up all that many tanks is a mistake. Maybe in Terran versus Terran there might be a reason for it, maybe. But I don't think so. Anyway, here we have a Starport coming out for Light. He's going to start getting his upgrades, it looks like. Starport Science Facility. Light might even be tempted to put down another expansion. He knows that Shuttle has essentially no presence on the map. If Shuttle wants to move out some of these Dragoons, Light can crush it in the field without any mercy at all, and without difficulty. Shuttle also knows that there's no chance of him launching any sort of attack that will be effective on Light for now. Light, with harassing vultures, just scouting around the map, trying to find things to pick off, like another probe. Light has been doing an exceptional job all game doing this harassment of the expansion probes. Shuttle, at least slightly wiser now, he's actually boxed those vultures in with his Dragoons. If Light had like a second force of vultures, he'd be able to stop the expansion from going up, but no. Maybe Light is going to move out to crush the new expansion or something. Light has a significant force of tanks out. If he can get a few Goliaths, a few more vultures, I think he's going to have enough. He's already got a few Goliaths on the front too. Excellent. So I don't know what Shuttle can do to hold this off. He's got some Zealots, some more Dragoons. He's very Dragoon heavy at this point. He's put down some more gateways. Surely Speed is going to be finished soon. If Light can manage to attack before Speed, for instance, I think there is no way for Shuttle to hold this off. Dragoons against tanks is suicidal. Light now looks like he's setting up his 4th base where the proxy used to be. Good for him. I am a little confused as to why Light decided not to seize the early economic initiative. He's got a very strong blockade there, by the way, in the front. With those mines and that supply depot, there's no chance of a Protoss breaking through from the north. However, there are other avenues of attack open. Well, really, in order to attack 6 o'clock, there's only one avenue open. Looks like Shuttle going to suicide the Dragoon into that tank fire. And these vultures might be able to catch these Dragoons here. Now Light's pushing out, going to destroy this small force of Dragoons, it looks like, with a combination of vultures and tanks. These Dragoons getting surrounded and absolutely destroyed. Nothing they can do. It's a shame Dragoons can't fire while moving, but they're already good enough, at least against Marines, to kill Marines with the move and then stop fire, move, stop fire sort of micro, which is standard, of course. All pro gamers can probably do that in their sleep if necessary. Their brain waves alone are sufficient to do that sort of micro with the Dragoons. Anyway, here we have some more Zealots coming out for Shuttle. He might be trying to go for some sort of attack, which is going to be suicidal. Shuttle's best bet, I fear at this point, is actually to try to hold off an attack. Harassment coming in for Light. 2 vultures coming to 12 o'clock. Some more vultures in the main. They're going to kill quite a few probes. So excellent move here by Light. Also distracting Shuttle. I mean, his forces are out of position. If Light had followed this up, for instance, with a push at the 9 o'clock position, I fear there is no chance for Shuttle to stop that. I'm not so sure whether Shuttle should go for an attack now. His best bet is try to catch Light when he's moving out and defeat him, because there's no chance of him actually winning in an attack. No chance at all. His forces are going to be funneled into a very narrow kill field here against Light, who has a massive army of tanks. He can't approach from the north, so he can only approach from the west, and he's not going to be able to break through, I fear, unless he had like 5 Templar with Storm and a couple Arbiters. He does have 2 Arbiters. Maybe if he could put some very good stasises. These Zealots are running all into mines. 1 tank getting caught by a stasis. 2 tanks maybe. That's not going to bother Light at all. He's got so many more tanks in the back. And this attack by Shuttle, as I prophesied, is utterly failing. Defense matrix on that tank. This is the most incredible slaughter I've seen of Protoss units. In recent memory, a second stasis, but it's going to do nothing. Shuttle losing so many of his units, as I thought the attack was an abysmal failure. Shuttle just threw away pretty much half his army there for no gain at all, and Light is in a very comfortable position to win now. And I don't know what Shuttle can do. I think his best bet would be to try to catch Light on the offensive and try to defeat one of his attacks, and meantime expand like a fiend. But his suicidal frontal assaults is, I mean, he's already in a position of weakness. More of these frontal assaults are not going to work. These vultures might catch the Templar. No, it doesn't seem like they see the Templar. So that's at least something for Shuttle. Maybe if he can get some good storms off, he might be able to hold off the next wave. He needs to be able to hold off the Terran push, and he stands a chance of coming back in this game. Even if he manages to defeat one of Light's armies, who are now 1-2 upgraded, by the way, even if he manages to defeat an army, and Light has been doing very well at harassment too, he's going to be sufficiently behind economically. Finally, the Shuttle going down for, I mean, not Shuttle, the dropship going down for Light. Shuttle killing the dropship of Light. Now Light has an absolutely massive army. There's probably almost 20 tanks there, and plenty of vulture support. I think Shuttle's really going to struggle to hold off this offensive here. It's got everything Light needs to succeed. Maybe Shuttle might be going for a counterattack of some sort and hopefully draw Light back. That rarely works out well for Protoss. The Terran can usually hold things off long enough in their main between the defenses to crush most of the Protoss expansions. And it looks like Shuttle is going for an attack. He cannot afford to trade armies at this point, because if he loses this army, it's over. He's going to have nothing left, essentially. But Light, actually, is pulled back from this attack. He's pulling all his tanks back to deal with this assault. He's going to be able to hold it off, I feel, without too much trouble. Good storm coming out here from Shuttle. He's got some more Templar in his Shuttle, but some of those Templar are just getting picked off. He doesn't have the units to get this done. Shuttle's army absolutely destroyed here. Trying to attack again, not working. Light with a few tanks there, raising the expansion at the 9 o'clock, and this surely is GG for Shuttle. Shuttle stasising a clump of tanks after the battle is finished. Very, very bright move there. He's got a paltry army now on the field. I think Light could just unsiege all his tanks and move into Shuttle's base at this point, and there would be absolutely nothing that Shuttle can do to stop it. Getting that Templar picked off by marauding vultures is not going to help. So, good game by Light, although once he scouted the proxy, it was basically GG. Well, I would say that once he scouted the proxy and killed the pylon, he was in a good position to win. I wouldn't say it's GG, but it is not a surprise that Light won, and would have taken quite a bit of effort on Shuttle's part to come back. Shuttle, however, clearly not up to the task, and yeah, that's kind of just how these things go. Perhaps a slightly better Protoss player would have realized that these frontal assaults against a placed Terran defense like this would have been foolish and suicidal at best. Perhaps not. Protoss does seem to have this tendency to going for the frontal assault, as would befit their race, actually. Except Bisu. Bisu uses Dark Templar very well. Dark Templar are the only Protoss unit that's sort of a stealth, sneaky unit. The assassin, if you would. But the rest of the Protoss, you know, they value direct frontal assaults, which in war is rarely the way to go, might I add. Or at least, if you ever want to come back from a position of weakness, you never ever go for the direct frontal assault. These probes getting destroyed by vultures and tanks. I do not know why Shuttle has a GG. He's probably going to mass up his troops for one final desperate charge against only a fraction of Light's forces, it seems like. This is only one of Light's army. It looks like he has a second army in the south there. That Light might be moving back up. I mean, this army alone is more than sufficient to crush Shuttle. And just in case it couldn't, he's got a second army ready to go for good measure. And Shuttle's economy is absolutely crushed now. He's really down to 2 mining bases, it looks like. EMP catching an Arbiter, I think. But the Arbiter already stasising the Science Vessel. There are so many tanks. That tank force is sufficient to A-move its way into Shuttle's base. Looks like Templar storms on Vultures. That's not going to matter much. I mean, those tanks are just screaming for Storm. Or some sort of stasis or something. And it looks like Shuttle's going to be mined out of his natural too. Shuttle just wants to give one final battle. A reasonably good stasis. A second stasis, I would not say that's good because it sort of blocks the attacking direction here. And those stasis tanks are not going to bother Light at all because it's pretty much blocked the only approach coming here for Shuttle. His Dragoon's not able to even get within range of the unstasis tanks. And Light probably has reinforcements he can bring up now. Even if he doesn't bring up reinforcement, I have no idea why he just unsieged and resieged, by the way. Maybe he's trying to give Shuttle a fighting chance here. Finally, good storms. This is what Shuttle needed. But too little, too late. He's lost all his army. And there are maybe 8 or 9 takes in the stasis field. GG coming from Shuttle. I guess he wanted to give one last battle there for his pride. Fortunately, he probably would have been better off GGing earlier because that battle was a one-sided massacre. Despite some reasonably good spell usage going on to set 2.
자, 이번 시즌 프로토스 때문에 발목을 많이 잡혔던 이재호 선수가 이 극복하는 모습 최근 경기 내에서 지금 보여주고 있나요? 최근에 박영민 선수에게는 패배를 했습니다만 그 전까지 승리가 이어지고 있었거든요.
그렇습니다. 공식전이 거의 지금 400전에 육박하고 있는데 승리 55%가량을 유지하고 있다는 거 확실히 이재호 선수 노련미의 실력까지 두루 갖췄다라는 생각이